If you feel shoulder pain while sleeping, and you've been telling yourself it's just age, you might be making a serious mistake. Think about this. You go to bed tired, expecting rest, but in the middle of the night, a sharp or dull pain in your shoulder wakes you up. You switch sides. Maybe it feels better for a moment, then the pain comes back. By morning, your shoulder feels stiff, heavy, and harder to move. And what do most people say? It's normal. I'm just getting older. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Not all shoulder pain is caused by aging. In many cases, your body is actually sending you a warning signal, trying to tell you that something deeper is wrong. Medical experts say that shoulder pain at night can be linked to specific conditions like rotator cuff injuries, frozen shoulder, nerve compression, or even poor blood circulation. And here's the dangerous part. These problems often start silently, with pain that only shows up while you're trying to sleep. If you ignore it, that small discomfort can slowly turn into chronic pain, limited movement, and in some cases, even surgery. But it doesn't stop there. For some people, nighttime shoulder pain can also be connected to hidden health issues, like heart problems or diabetes, conditions that become more noticeable when your body is at rest. So this is not just about discomfort. This is your body's built-in alert system, trying to get your attention before things get worse. In this video, we're going to break down which types of shoulder pain are normal and which ones are dangerous, why shoulder pain gets worse at night, the 3 warning signs you should never ignore, and most importantly, what you should do right now to stop this from getting worse. If you or someone in your family is experiencing shoulder pain while sleeping, you need to watch this until the end, because what you're ignoring today could turn into a much bigger problem tomorrow. When people experience shoulder pain at night, the first assumption is almost always the same. It must be aging. This belief is so common that many individuals ignore the early signals their body is trying to send. But the truth is, not all shoulder pain is normal, and more importantly, not all of it is harmless. There is a clear difference between temporary discomfort caused by daily activity and pain that appears consistently during rest, especially while sleeping. Normal shoulder pain is usually linked to overuse, poor posture, or minor muscle strain. For example, if someone has spent the day lifting heavy objects, working long hours at a desk, or sleeping in an awkward position, it's natural for the shoulder to feel sore. This type of pain is typically mild to moderate, improves with rest, and gradually disappears within a few days. It doesn't significantly limit movement, and it rarely wakes someone up from deep sleep. However, dangerous shoulder pain behaves very differently. It tends to appear repeatedly, often becoming more intense at night rather than during the day. This is a major red flag. When pain increases during rest, it can indicate underlying inflammation, tissue damage, or even nerve involvement. Many people notice that no matter how they position themselves, the discomfort persists or worsens, making it difficult to find a comfortable sleeping position. Another key difference is stiffness and reduced mobility. If lifting your arm, reaching behind your back, or performing simple movements becomes difficult or painful, it may point to conditions like frozen shoulder or rotator cuff injury. These issues don't resolve on their own easily, and often worsen over time if left untreated. In some cases, people begin to compensate by using the other arm more, which can create further imbalance in the body. There is also a deeper layer to consider. Pain that radiates from the shoulder down the arm, or is accompanied by tingling, numbness, or weakness, may involve nerve compression. This is not something that should ever be ignored. Similarly, if shoulder pain is paired with chest discomfort, shortness of breath, or unusual fatigue, it could be linked to more serious internal conditions, rather than just a musculoskeletal problem. What makes this even more concerning is how subtle these warning signs can be in the beginning. The pain might start as something occasional, easy to dismiss, or only noticeable at night. But over time, it becomes more frequent, more intense, and more disruptive to daily life. The body rarely sends strong signals without a reason, and persistent nighttime shoulder pain is one of those signals that deserves attention before it progresses further. Shoulder pain often feels more intense at night, and this is not just a coincidence. There are specific reasons why the discomfort becomes more noticeable when you lie down, even if it seemed manageable during the day. One of the main factors is reduced distraction. Throughout the day, your mind is occupied with work, movement, conversations, and constant activity. These distractions naturally lower your awareness of pain. But at night, when everything becomes quiet and your body is at rest, even mild discomfort can feel stronger and more focused. Another important reason is the way your body position changes while sleeping. When you lie on your side, especially on the affected shoulder, you are placing direct pressure on the joint, tendons, and surrounding tissues. This pressure can irritate already inflamed areas, increasing the intensity of the pain. Even if you try to sleep on the opposite side, the shoulder may still feel strained because of the way your arm is positioned or supported. Poor sleeping posture, such as keeping the arm under the pillow or twisting the shoulder awkwardly, can also make the situation worse over time. Blood circulation also plays a significant role. During sleep, your body's circulation patterns change slightly, and in certain positions, blood flow to specific areas may be reduced. This can lead to stiffness and a buildup of inflammatory fluids around the joint. When inflammation increases, it puts pressure on nearby nerves and tissues, which can amplify the sensation of pain. This is why many people wake up with not just pain, but also tightness and difficulty moving their shoulder freely. There is also the issue of muscle cooling. During the day, your muscles are warm and active, which helps keep them flexible and responsive. At night, as your body temperature drops and your muscles relax, any underlying weakness or injury becomes more noticeable. Tight or damaged tissues can stiffen further, making even small movements during sleep uncomfortable. This stiffness is often what people feel first thing in the morning, especially when they try to lift or rotate their arm. Inflammation tends to follow a natural cycle in the body, and for some individuals, it becomes more active during rest. Conditions like tendinitis, bursitis, or joint irritation can worsen at night because the body is no longer moving enough to distribute fluids evenly. Instead, these fluids can accumulate in one area, increasing pressure and discomfort. For some people, nerve-related issues become more pronounced in certain sleeping positions. If a nerve is compressed in the neck or shoulder area, lying down can intensify that compression, leading to pain that may travel down the arm or feel like tingling or numbness. This type of pain is often sharper and more persistent, making it harder to ignore or sleep through. All of these factors combine to create a situation where nighttime becomes the moment when your body reveals problems that may not be as obvious during the day. It is not simply that the pain appears out of nowhere, but rather that the conditions allowing it to surface become stronger when your body is still, unsupported, and more sensitive to internal changes. There are certain warning signs related to shoulder pain that should never be ignored, no matter how mild they may seem in the beginning. One of the most important signs is pain that consistently wakes you up at night or prevents you from falling into deep sleep. Occasional discomfort after a long day can be normal, but when the pain becomes a regular nighttime pattern, it often points to something more serious happening beneath the surface. The body rarely disrupts sleep without a reason, and persistent pain during rest is one of its strongest signals that attention is needed. Another critical sign is a noticeable loss of movement or increasing stiffness in the shoulder. If simple actions like lifting your arm, reaching for something above your head, or placing your hand behind your back become difficult, this is not something that should be brushed off. Many people try to adjust their daily habits or avoid certain movements to reduce discomfort, but this only masks the problem temporarily. Over time, the range of motion can decrease further, leading to conditions where even basic activities become challenging. What starts as mild stiffness can gradually turn into severe restriction if not addressed early. A third sign that should raise concern is pain that spreads beyond the shoulder itself. If you begin to feel discomfort traveling down your arm, or experience sensations like tingling, numbness, or weakness, it may indicate involvement of the nerves. This type of pain is often sharper, more persistent, and can feel different from typical muscle soreness. It may come and go at first, but eventually become more frequent and harder to ignore. Nerve-related symptoms are particularly important because they can point to compression or irritation that may worsen if left untreated. In some cases, the intensity of the pain may seem disproportionate to any activity you have done. You may not recall any injury, heavy lifting, or strain, yet the discomfort continues to increase. This is another signal that the issue may not be related to simple overuse. The body can develop internal inflammation or tissue damage over time, even without a clear triggering event. Ignoring this kind of unexplained pain can allow the condition to progress silently. There is also a pattern where the pain becomes more frequent or lasts longer with each passing day. Initially, it may appear only once in a while, perhaps after a certain movement or position. But gradually, it starts occurring more often, staying for longer periods, and becoming harder to relieve. This progression is a clear indication that the underlying cause is not resolving on its own. Paying attention to these warning signs is essential because early action can prevent more serious complications. The body communicates through discomfort long before a condition becomes severe, and recognizing these signals at the right time can make a significant difference in recovery and long-term health. Once shoulder pain begins to show consistent patterns, especially at night, taking the right steps early can make a major difference in preventing long-term damage. The first and most important action is to stop ignoring the pain and start observing it carefully. Pay attention to when it occurs, what movements trigger it, and how intense it feels. This awareness helps you understand whether the issue is temporary or something that requires deeper attention. One of the simplest but most effective adjustments is improving your sleeping position. Many people unknowingly place their shoulder under direct pressure for hours, which worsens inflammation and discomfort. If you sleep on your side, try placing a soft pillow in front of your chest and rest your arm on it to reduce strain. If possible, alternate sides or sleep on your back with proper support under your arms to keep the shoulders in a neutral position. Small changes like these can significantly reduce nighttime irritation. Another key step is managing inflammation. Applying a cold pack to the affected shoulder for short periods can help reduce swelling and numb the pain, especially after a long day of activity. In some cases, gentle heat therapy may also be beneficial to relax tight muscles, but it's important to understand when to use each method based on how your shoulder feels. Overusing either can sometimes make things worse instead of better. Movement is also critical, but it must be controlled and gentle. Completely avoiding movement may seem like the safest option, but it can lead to stiffness and reduced mobility over time. Light stretching exercises and controlled movements can help maintain flexibility and improve blood flow to the area. However, pushing through sharp pain or forcing movements can cause further injury, so it's important to stay within a comfortable range. Posture during the day plays a bigger role than most people realize. Long hours of sitting, especially with rounded shoulders or a forward head position, can gradually strain the shoulder joint. Making small corrections, such as sitting upright, keeping the shoulders relaxed, and taking regular breaks to move around, can reduce the load placed on the shoulder throughout the day. Over time, these adjustments can ease pressure and prevent the pain from worsening at night. In addition to physical changes, it is important to know when to seek professional help. If the pain continues for several weeks, becomes more intense, or starts limiting your daily activities, consulting a healthcare professional is the right step. Early evaluation can identify underlying issues before they become severe and may prevent the need for more invasive treatments later. Consistency is what truly makes a difference. Occasional efforts may provide temporary relief, but long-term improvement comes from making these small habits part of your routine. The body responds best when it is supported regularly, not just when the pain becomes unbearable. Taking action at the right time can not only reduce discomfort, but also protect your mobility and overall quality of life before the condition progresses further. Many people only take shoulder pain seriously when it begins to interfere with daily life, but by that stage, the condition has often progressed much further than it needed to. What starts as mild discomfort at night can slowly develop into a constant limitation that affects simple tasks like dressing, lifting objects, or even reaching for something on a shelf. This gradual progression is what makes shoulder-related issues so deceptive, because the change is not sudden enough to create urgency, yet consistent enough to cause long-term damage. One of the biggest risks of ignoring shoulder pain is the development of chronic conditions. Over time, inflammation that is not managed properly can lead to tissue thickening, reduced flexibility, and joint stiffness. The shoulder is one of the most mobile joints in the body, and once that mobility is restricted, restoring it becomes more difficult and time-consuming. What could have been resolved with minor adjustments early on may later require months of rehabilitation.